Are fueled by Monster Energy, and everybody watching at home right now on CageZilla.com. Are you ready? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for our next fight. Making his way to the cage and fighting out of the red corner, it's Trey Willis.
Hello, friends, and welcome to CageZilla 81 for our first fight of the night. This is Trey Willis making his way to the ring. This 5'6" fighter is 24 years old and fights out of Capital MMA.
Trey Willis will be coming in fighting at the bantamweight 135-pound, but he weighed in under the bantamweight limit at 132.4 pounds. That is a good sign coming from a debuting fighter. Maybe overdid the cut a little bit. Interested in, did they know that it was going to be that much? Maybe they just overshot it to be safe. Maybe a scale was a little bit heavier at home than it was on venue. Let's see if that has any effect on his long-term cardio. But Capital MMA is an amazing gym. They have a Muay Thai base and always coming with good jiu-jitsu skills as well. Trey himself is coming from a wrestling background too, so we're going to be seeing somebody who's had competition experience at multiple levels of the combat sports, and seeing if he can put it together here in his MMA debut.
Absolutely. Really interested to see what Trey Willis brings to the table here. He's getting prepared alongside our wonderful referees. One thing to note here, Liam, regarding this fighter and who he's up against is the fact that in debut versus debut, we got two unknown quantities here. Not a whole lot in the way of preparation in terms of what you could see for footage for either of these guys. So do you think we're going to get any explosive strategies to start us off?
I think we're going to see guys test themselves on the feet always at first. It's always like a big question mark. How's this going to go? But he's looking cool and calm right now. All of that combat sports preparation prior to this means that he's not alien to competing. Now let's throw it to Chris so we can welcome out his opponent.
And his opponent, making his way to the cage and fighting out of the blue corner, it's Jack Owens.
And so as I alluded to, Jack Owens entering the ring is at an 0-0 record as well, making his MMA debut. This 30-year-old is fighting out of the lab.
Now, the lab, for everybody, they are an incredible gym. They always come in with high-level jiu-jitsu prowess. Their coach and three-time CageZilla champion, Diallo, is in the corner. Even if these guys aren't necessarily the highest rankings, like Jake right now is a blue belt, you can expect that they have high-level skills for that belt rank. You're not just facing a blue belt, you're facing a blue belt with competition experience who has been going to tournaments regularly. So just a blue belt in the gym, it feels very different than somebody who's been in the rigors and has a tight A game and maybe has a B game too. Somebody who's been tested, has felt chokes go deep, and then has to work out of that and be calm through that scenario. Again, a big thing I look for as a coach when I'm looking at a fighter who's ready, it's a fighter who's already competed. If you know how to compete, a lot of the extra stuff in MMA is very easy. But if you're coming into this sport and just figuring out how to be a competitor, that's a hard task.
Certainly the case. Coming in with quite the hardest music I think I've heard in CageZilla so far as well, Liam. So we're going to see whether or not that energizes him as he dives on into the ring, ready to face off against his opponent, Trey Willis. Let's throw it back over to Chris Fuller.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for three-minute rounds in the CageZilla Bantamweight division. It is brought to you by our friends at Sand Screen Printing, turning ink into art, and Southland Insulators, insulation expertise that you can count on. And now, starting out, fighting out of the red corner, standing 5'6" and weighing in at 132 pounds, fighting out of Capital MMA, he is making his CageZilla debut. It's Trey Willis. And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, standing 5'7" and weighing in at 134 pounds, fighting out of the lab, he is also making his CageZilla debut. It's Jack Owens. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for three-minute rounds in the CageZilla Bantamweight division. It is brought to you by Sand Screen Printing and Southland Insulators, and your referee is Gabe Balajit.
And as Gabe brings everybody to the center of the ring to start off Cagezilla 81, I'm very excited to see what opening strategies we'll see out of two people making their Cagezilla debut. An 0-0 record. I know that oftentimes Chris Fuller will say the O must go in undefeated bouts, but here, unknown quantities also must show their stuff in an O must go as well. To start things off, we got a little bit of striking action between these two fighters.
Trey Willis coming out southpaw. I'm wondering if that's because he's actually left-handed or just because his wrestling stance had a right leg lead in it. That's a decision you see some wrestlers choose to make is they'll often come in with a right leg lead, and as they learn to striking, they just prefer to keep their base versus putting that power hand in the back. Right now, the exchange is going well. I like that Jack Owens switched to southpaw. Oh, Jack Owens getting a body lock on the wrestler.
Already up against the cage wall, so not a whole lot of places for Trayvon to go out of this situation. So far, pretty bladed, trying to get those hips in order to have leverage.
Absolutely, and for anybody at home who's wondering how, I'm scared, wrestling is a scary thing in your first MMA bout, and having somebody who's way more skilled at wrestling it's a stressor, but putting them against the cage, there's no wrestling where there's a vertical barrier, so all of a sudden that's where everyone's equal. But Trey Willis turning it around, firing a sharp knee and an elbow, showing that capital MMA, capital Muay Thai.
That being said, I like how Jack Owens manages to disengage, keeping that guard high, trying to find something on the way out, but already he is opened up here, Liam.
Jack Owens got cut open by that elbow from Trey Willis. Trey Willis right now having the stronger hands out of the two of them.
And that's a scary thing to see. It seems like right now Jack Owens is having to expend a lot of energy to try to match Trey on that striking game, and I just don't know how effective that is. Trey seems very happy with what's currently happening, continuing to keep that stance. Now, once again, back to open as Jack Owens is desperately trying to find an angle, but now he's opening up upon the face of his opponent in the blue corner. Is in trouble. Multiple beats go to the clinch, and now Jack is in a desperate situation.
So I'm very, very confident Trey Willis is not a right-handed southpaw. Right there, he switched through a big power right hand, went back to his striking stance. He has good discipline. Trey Willis he seems to be the more powerful athlete here right now. He also is just lining Jack Owens up in the right way for a southpaw, getting that right foot outside. Right now, clinched up, throwing a left knee. I'm not seeing like a huge speed difference here. I'm just seeing one person really know their positioning better.
Absolutely the case, and what I'm really worried about is that it's these small things that have already brought Trey into such advantage during this match, and up against the wall. There's just nowhere for Jack Owens to go. He's going to try to force a clinch here, but now he's once again met with those very powerful knees that Trey's been firing out all around.
Oh, Jack Owens gets the first takedown of the fight, changing the dynamic. And let's see that white belt from Trey Willis shows some good skills off the back, or if the wrestling will go to his instincts for a stand-up.
That was a well-timed takedown, too. He needed that, Liam.
Oh, absolutely. That round was not going his way.
Well, there's a clapper, so that's going to signal we're close to the end of this bout. Right now, this ground game definitely favors Jack Owens, but he is going to allow for the disengage. Trey back to his feet right as the bell rings.
So Jack Owens' biggest problem right now is he's throwing and falling in. I liked at first when he went southpaw. Often, southpaws don't have a lot of other southpaws at the gym, so getting that, it's called a closed stance matchup, is hard. And it's an easy way for somebody who's having a hard time against the southpaw to change up the dynamic and maybe have a slight advantage. But right now, Jack Owens isn't choosing to go into southpaw. He's throwing his right hand as hard as he can because he's trying to get some respect, and then he ends up in Trey's range. Right now, Trey is playing this nice patient waiting game, and he's really calm with his hands. His coaching has done a great job of preparing him for a striking match. But right now, Jack Owens, he has the right ideas, but he's just falling into these situations rather than controlling his balance.
Well, I was a little disappointed in that takedown. He didn't try to land any punishment. He was just happy that he got the takedown. It's what it looked like, and didn't even look for to posture up and rain down at all.
And Chris, in my opinion, I don't think that is enough for the judges to score that round in favor of the blue corner.
Not
it
for
felt
me.
like Trey was doing so much, opening up Jack as well. It's really going to hurt his optics. So we need to see grappling turn into damage, turn into possible submissions. Otherwise, I think that Trey is going to continue to work on his striking game plan. And even if he gets less time in the sun here in the second round, this is still going to look great. I love the glove touch as respect to start this one off.
Both of these guys are just laser focused, and they were even during the walkout. Didn't get the crowd. Didn't let the crowd get to him or anything.
Oh my goodness!
He just got punished for falling in. That's all that happened. It was showing a right hand. He stepped forward. Good job by Trey to push this up against. He has great head position right now. Good body shots. If I'm looking at Trey, something to help him get his guy out of there, he needs to go to the body more when he gets these hard, like high guard reactions. When Jack Owens puts his hands on his forehead and is just trying to be safe, Trey needs to rip at those ribs.
Yeah, he's head hunting a lot. You're right.
Good check.
And I can see why he's doing that. A greener fighter trying to just open up on the head. It still seems to be working here, though, Liam. At the end of the day, this is damage coming in.
Absolutely.
And
Good
Jack is in a very desperate
knee.
situation. A little bit of a
Kinda
stumble, a bit of an overengage.
Oh.
But now Jack is going to throw himself bodily at Trayvon. And now here's the response.
This is, hey, Jack Owens could get this, but right now we're sitting in the corner with Willis. Willis looks like he might be losing. He needs to cover that right arm. That right arm's out. He's now covered. Owens is doing all the right work right now. Trey, he wants to suck Trey's hips away from the cage wall, though. As long as Trey's set up, he has a quick window to pop up. Jack Owens controlling the bottom hip. He's doing all the right things right now, but he needs to get head posture right there. He's using his leg to suck away that hip away. Jack Owens is doing good work right here, but again, he's kind of grappling too much when he needs to be fighting a bit more. And when I say that, I mean he's just going for grips. He's not sneaking that left hand that's posting on a knee. He slid him out. Great work. Now's the work time, though.
Oh.
But mount is a dangerous place to be in MMA. Sometimes leg riding can be more beneficial.
Absolutely the case, and now Trayvon from an upper position is going to try to open up once again on the head of Jack Owens.
Owens
that is
on
a dog and hold.
Head outside, safe. Jack Owens should right now, he can commit to this all he wants, and I understand, but that's like a broken head posture. This is a lot of strength going on right now, and he's doing the right things. He needs to lock his hands. He needs to get a better foot positioning. He needs to get his hips under Willis's hips for a good lift. But right now, that rounded back, this is a lot of energy.
Absolutely, trying to lift through that entire leg. 30 seconds left on the clock here for Jack Owens to try to do damage. Once again, a takedown is going to be stopped by that cage wall, and it's going to be Trayvon Willis still in a sitting position here.
So right here, Jack Owens, where his mistake in the last moment was putting his hips fully on top of Trey Willis's, going past both legs, and that is the right thing to do in the hierarchy of jiu-jitsu. But right here, I think he's learned from his mistake. Let's just wrestle. Let's just find a position that he can hold. A good guillotine attempt here. That is tight, but he does not have anything locked around the waist, so the leverage is a little hard.
And there's the bell.
Hey, smart job by Trey not overindulging the defense there. He knew that we were in a short time. He didn't feel that much danger. He kind of just didn't waste energy. Good job, but now this is back and forth. I think we're all a little surprised that Trayvon Willis is right now the wrestler getting wrestled the most here. That said, he's doing a great job with the striking pressure. That second round, bit harder to score, but given how many stop us from finishing this third round here at Cage. The only thing that'll stop us is a stoppage from one of these fighters.
So, Liam, early in that second round, we were talking about how it looked like Trey was headhunting a little bit. When you see that you've opened up a fighter, do you target that? Could that be why?
It is a bullseye.
Yeah.
It is a red dot, and I want to go poke it. Maya Stewart one time won an amateur belt, and she was down 2 rounds, but she had gotten a mouse on this girl's eye, and I said, hey, you see that big lump? Go pop it.
All right, we'll see what they're doing right here in the middle of the ring on the Cagezilla logo.
These are two very different philosophies going into round number 3. Takedowns on one side. I think that Trey wants to keep on his feet and continue to strike on the other. That being said, first time we're seeing a kick game plan come out. It's actually going to be started by Jack Owens. So
Trey takes the most damage on the feet when Jack Owens fires a southpaw lead hook. I like it when Jack Owens stays southpaw or starts. Oh, he's shooting out in the open. I don't necessarily love that. Trey had all the room behind him to sprawl. Jack Owens' best wrestling success has been when he has a cage to stop any wrestling defense.
That's a lot of damage invested into a takedown that doesn't really come through, Liam, and what that means is now the ticking time bomb is upon you. I think that both of us can say those last 2 rounds most likely are going over to Trey, even if the second one was closer. But now, that's a full 45 seconds that was spent pawing at Trey, followed by a takedown attempt that only got more shots for the red corner in.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad if they gave that second round to Jack, but he definitely has to do something right here.
Oh, we got a little Pereira chill. I'm good, ref moment. Right, yeah, and right here, Jack, you're going to see Jack always flip back to orthodox when he's getting pressured. That's where he feels he has confidence in his defense. But he knows that I have only really been landing well when I put my right hand in front. And again, that's just Trevon Willis not having a southpaw there that is versed with their lead hand. Maybe he has some, but he just doesn't get that look consistently.
Absolutely. When you're getting staggered that much off of one of these crosses that we see Trey throw, I'm a little bit worried about Jack's conditioning for this last minute and a half. Once again, Trey trying to find a shot in, and it just feels like Jack is dropping his guard to the point where everything is landing. And while they are just peppering blows, that could be enough to score things in favor of the red corner, if not outright end, as we're moving into this last minute.
Jack Owens definitely has a more developed grappling game than a striking game. Oh, and look, Trey Willis's corner is telling him the right things, though. Right there, he sees a high guard, he roasts a rib. I'd say, though, Jack Owens, in his striking game, it's this confidence in the authority of what he's throwing. Like, he throws, and the moment that punch is out there, you see his base is high. He's, light on the toes, which means he's going to get moved more. Trey Willis, he has one heel down almost at all times, and when he throws hard. Oh, it looks like we got an eye poke going on here.
Definitely a
That's
thumb to the eye.
unfortunate.
It's going to be thrown to a neutral corner here. Let's see whether or not Jack Owens will be able to rally and continue here. 40 seconds left on the clock right now. Referee attending to him.
He'll have 5 minutes to collect himself and gather himself. He's just really right now asking for a moment. Oh, no, he communicated that he couldn't see.
Yeah, he didn't have a good eye, but he got poked in the worst of the 2 eyes.
Yeah.
Not a good look.
Hey, mistakes happen. One thing you'll learn as a fighter is that if you want to continue fighting, you need to control what you communicate. Now, this is amateur. Everybody here has to go have a job at the end of the day. A ref is going to call that early. And if